Hello and welcome everybody. Thank you for your participation. It's my pleasure to be together with you today. My name is Mariusz Dainda. I'm an IT and Business Development Director at DPK System Group. On the following presentation, I would like to show you our planning scheduling solution in the context of integrated and optimal planning for transport authorities and transport operator, including such topics like electric vehicles and especially COVID-19 strategy and all problems and challenges which we are facing because of this pandemic situation right now. Let me tell you a few words about our company, who we are and what we do. DPK System was established in 1996, so we have more than 24 years of experience at the public transportation market. We are the software producer and provider of the dedicated solutions for the transport companies as public transport authorities and transport operators. We are working in the sectors of the urban transport, intercity transport, railway transport, heavy industry and healthcare. Public transport is rapidly expanding and changing. Nowadays, we are eyewitness of the dynamic changes which are coming from current COVID situation. This process shall follow the IT tools that must meet the increasing demands. Solutions for that is our system, CityLine Designer, which offers transit operators and authorities a really powerful tool based on one integrated platform for the complete lifecycle management of the public transport service planning and operations, including electrical vehicles, supported by AI and advanced mathematical optimization algorithms on each phase of the planning process. As you can see on the screen, the transport planning process is very complex. We can distinguish two areas in it. First, strategic planning, which is mainly managed by the transport authorities and includes planning elements such as network designing, route planning, timetabling. And the second area, which is operational planning, it's the domain of the transport operators. It contains elements of planning such as vehicle scheduling, duty scheduling, crew rostering, and daily dispatching. In order to maintain the coherence of the process and to synchronize the activities of all of the participants, appropriate IT tools are needed. Our planning platforms covers the full scope of the presented process and provides support not only in the terms of the tools for the planners, but also in the form of the unique optimization engine covering each planning stage and planning elements, which you can see on the screen. It is crucial to ensure full integrity of the task in the process and to synchronize the activities of all participants in the process. Our multi-criteria mathematical optimization engine covers the most important element in the planning process: timetables, schedules, duties, and rosters. As you can see on the screen, the most important is to find the balance between the finances of the company on the one hand side and the passengers' needs on the other hand side. Optimization engine must take into account all restrictions and constraints coming from employees, vehicles and fleets, and timetables, and it must take into account of requirements and restrictions coming from the passengers flows, taking into account also labor laws, contracts, internal company regulations, and other parameters which can be configurable by the users directly in the platform. Trips optimization is the first step in the whole planning process. It's very important. Our mathematical models and algorithms makes models and analyzes versions of solutions, selecting the best for maximizing passenger satisfactions and minimizing the cost of the operators, which is very important, especially nowadays when we are facing the problems of the lower income to the budget. How we do it? It's quite simple because the goals of the mathematical algorithm is to synchronize the trips in the chosen points, synchronization points, or keep the ideal frequency on the routes. This is the parameters which can be chosen and steering by the planners using the slides and set up proper cost functions. Schedule optimization is an important point to significantly reduce operating costs by optimizing the use of the fleet, reducing inefficient working hours for the vehicles and drivers, and reducing mileage, which translated directly into fuel consumption. Is a very important element looking from the transport operator side, which can saves you a lot of money and costs. Our solution is able to operate very efficiently in a short period of the time by using fast algorithms for optimization. So you can get optimum results in a short time and use them immediately to make operational changes. You can also prepare various versions of strategic plans as alternatives to long-term plans. It's very important, especially nowadays when we are facing the new challenges and new problems coming from pandemic and COVID-19 situation. The objective of optimization are to reduce costs, as confirmed by our previous project where we have been able to achieve results of up to 15% better fleet usage, including fewer vehicles needed to handle the same task, and up to 20% better driver usage, including efficient working hours and the number of the drivers needed to handle the same current task. Rostering is a key element of the operational planning process. This is extremely essential element which represents a serious challenge for each PTO. Why? Because the difficulty in planning the rosters is to make into account many elements that arise not only from legal restrictions on working time limits, but also from the individual preferences from the drivers. We must also take into account internal regulations and parameters that are important KPIs for the company. How to reconcile the interests of the company with the demands of the crew? The answer is quite simple. Our algorithms take all of these elements into account and also allow us to determine the individual work preferences of the drivers on a scale from 0 to 10, which can be set up directly in the system using the preference matrix in different cross sections. This makes planning very flexible and provides an ideal solution for PTOs. At the same time, it allows for the reductions of employment costs by optimizing the rosters. In order to illustrate the very complex optimization process, we have translated the mathematical cost of the optimization into estimated cost in currency. Look at the screen right now. This is example of optimization process which is implemented in our solution. Few words of explanation before I start the optimization, and you will see results on the screens. On the left hand side, we can see the two charts. The first one represents the initial solution before optimization. So in your case, we can import all of your inputs data and our algorithms can estimate the initial cost. And on the right hand side will be the progress and process of the optimization and results after the optimization. Then system will compare two results and show you differences in percentage and in, of course, the value. Also, you can following the other chart which representing the current iterations of optimization. Let me start the optimization right now. Look at the process. We have the few charts representing the results. And after a few seconds, because we are using the very fast algorithms, we have the optimal results, which is 16% better in this case comparing to the initial. Look at the numbers. Initially, we had the 186 workers. After the optimization, we could reduce it up to 144. And look at the number of the vehicles, which was initially 83. Now, after optimization, we have only 65 vehicles. So it gives us total results 16% better comparing to the original solution. The results of optimization can be presented in a user-friendly form through simulations. Two simulations are available in the system. The first one, which you can see on the screen right now, simulates the network load and detects potential problems in the transportation network. Each problem is indicated by a cross. It also shows warnings related to overcrowded vehicles, which in the era of pandemic is extremely important. The system also validates the correctness of driving patterns of the timetables of the passengers' flows and topology, taking into account individual requirements. The second simulations, which you can see on the screen, allows you to see the scheduled traffic situation. Accordingly to the timetables which were prepared in the system by your planners, we can visualize it on the map and very easy control, for instance, synchronization in the points or on the lines. Each time we can stop it, modify, refresh, and simulate it once again. It's the easy way to detect all potential problems on the network and detects some problems with the synchronization. CityLine Designer provides timetable planning, connections, synchronizations, and scheduling for different types of transport, like bus, trams, electric buses, trolley buses, trains, and for different operators jointly in an integrated way in one single common tool. It is also possible to import their timetables for synchronization purposes. Thus, it's aimed at both authorities and operators. Many processes and one solution is the most important feature and approach of our integrated transport planning platform. The solutions allows multiple users to work simultaneously while maintaining full security and access to data through appropriate permissions. It also allows you to configure the data flow, which allows you to easily adapt the system to individual customer requirements. The whole process is supported by advanced mathematical algorithms, which guarantees optimizations of KPIs. The platform also synchronizes the activities of all participants by automating data exchange, return loop, and allows for the automations of settlements. The unique approach ensures active participation of each of the participants in the full planning process, which can be carried out iteratively with the appropriate rights of individual units. Our integrated planning scheduling platform is also approaching new challenge in the public transport, electric vehicles. Special dedicated tools solve all issues which are facing now electromobility. New approach supported by mathematical optimization gives you ideal environment to optimize electric vehicle schedules, taking into account individual limitations and restrictions for each vehicle, availability of infrastructure, and geographic localization of all infrastructure which is related with electric vehicles. Our solution has implemented also dedicated tools for planning electrical vehicles. Scheduling must take into account indicators like range, type of charger, time and speed charging, staff training, infrastructure availability. We have also able special tools for planning green zones, which is very unique and quite modern approach during preparations of transportation plans. In addition to the limited range of electric vehicles, the availability of the infrastructure required to recharge a vehicle is also a problem. Thanks to our solutions and tools, it is easy to plan the right time for charging, taking into account current timetables and vehicles availability, schedules, but also the cost of electricity. For instance, when we can plan charging at nights. It is also important to plan and synchronize individual charging stations accordingly. Nowadays, we are facing new unexpected situation caused by pandemic situation. This process shall follow the IT tools that must meet the increasing demands and must rapidly respond for very fast changes in the public transport sector. The COVID situation has forced all of us to change our planning approach and our planning tools. The priorities and objectives have changed. Now the solutions must respond to rapidly changing situations. Planning is now focused on optimizing operation planning, which allows us to react to dynamic changes. COVID-19 situation is definitely a new challenge for the public transport. We have to define the new optimization goals. Optimization before was focused on minimizing cost and maximizing the use of vehicles and the drivers. The main objective of optimization is now to ensure the safety of passengers and crew. What does it mean? A new approach to timetabling that involves less passengers in the vehicles, so less capability, social distances, extra time for the drivers to prepare the vehicles or disinfect it. It also means a new dynamic approach to timetabling which involves different frequencies and alternative routes. The possibility of creating alternative plans, different versions of schedules and many simulations is the solution to many problems caused by COVID. We can react quickly to changing conditions while keeping costs under control. Each version is created using different input parameters, which guarantees optimal planning for the specific situation. For instance, we can prepare various timetable scenarios accordingly to the unexpected situations like closure of the schools, lockdown, new passengers needs, increased demand for commuting of healthcare workers in case of opening temporary hospitals. We have solutions that guarantee safety and increased health requirements associated with the pandemic situation. Planning with optimization engine takes into account the most important elements related to social distances, vehicle capacity, increased safety for drivers, extra time for ventilations and disinfections, or assigning a default vehicles. All of those elements increasing the safety level during the planning. Summarizing my today presentation, CityLine Designer platform finds optimal solutions for timetabling, scheduling for buses and drivers, rostering, according to business rules and existing restrictions. It reduces the operating costs and improves the public transport service offered, increasing the return of the investment in a very short time. It saves time-consuming tasks by working quickly and efficiently with a significant amount of data in an integrated way and response for the market demands. Thank you for your attention. In the case of any questions, feel free to contact me directly using the contact data which you can see on the screen right now or on Talk platform during this event. I wish you informative discussions and interactive new experience on IT Trans, which is also a new experience for me in that form. I will be more than happy to invite you on my private session when we can discuss all of topics in more details and anytime. So stay healthy and see you soon online. Thank you so much.